Alrighty. Welcome back, one and all, for those who watch this, for those who listen. We return to session 19 of the Cryptic Cabal, part 2 of the preparations. Last time we left off, the party had met up with a mercenary of sorts after a little bit of shopping. With a mercenary known only as truly Captain Bison and Cinnabari. A duo that would be as brilliant as they were brief, as the party would find themselves traveling for about 3 weeks, heading south with this interesting duo. The party would find themselves on the outskirts of a massive battle going on all around them in a very old forest as they traverse the swampy and muddy tracks running to the supply train at the back of the overall battle. With the party having managed to get ahead of the supply train and the expected shipments, they managed to set an ambush with a tree being knocked over and the party standing kind of splitting as well as they stood to either side waiting for the Thrycreen to come through. As the time went on and the Thrycreen arrived, the party would spring their trap to a great effectiveness, surprising the necromancers as well as the abyssal ghoul and multiple gravehounds. The party would barely manage to knock this group down until they realized that the necromancers were the key. Though a quick spat with the individual known as Jakix would arise, with him managing to kidnap one of the necromancers, the party would hold their own until the creatures would fall one by one, and the wagons would become theirs, though slightly crispier. As I believe last we left off, you lot had kind of gathered the wagons together and then decided to set up camp. Was the decision?
It actually never got that far. As soon as the fight ended, we ended session.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember now. Yeah, so that's right. As we come back to the end of session, from end of last session, with you lot having completed fighting, the wagons now completely unmanned. The supplies laying about them. I believe it was 4 carts in total. As you kind of look about the heavy forest behind you, the sounds of battle now far to the distance as we come back to the 5 of you technically.
Mm-hmm. First off,
Gygax's going insane.
I'm going to talk to Dukes and say, hey, we should probably burn the bodies.
Yeah,
if they got necromancers and we leave these just out and about, then they'll be able to bring them back up. And
Wait,
I don't want that.
And you speaking in his head to make clear?
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I'm eating pizza. I'm not going in my full ton.
No, that's fully make sure. I just wanted to make sure you weren't like nudging your head over and looking at him again, for clarification.
Yeah, I'm connecting to him with his mind.
Okay.
I'm just, a mouthful of pizza, so I'm,
Tun chewing on the corpse of the necromancer still.
Hey, it's got a little bread taste, and I like bread.
I psionically link with Doots and Tun. I have a baby boy.
Congratulations, good sir.
Congratulations.
As I stick out my huge tongue with a small gold coin on it. See? This is him. And then I pull my tongue back in.
Tun doesn't know that, of course, mimic children started as gold coin looking things, so he's just gonna look at Gygax like he's absolutely fucking crazy.
Alright. As you kind of stare over at him with utter confusion and...
I look at Dukes, and I look at Gygax, and I look at Dukes. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I just slightly shake my head and just say, don't worry about it.
Going up spout.
Let's burn these bodies.
Random little songs.
Let's burn these bodies.
Alright. How are you planning to start the fires out of curiosity for this?
Force of will, obvious. No.
I pull out my wand of firewall. Dudes?
I
assume you
also have a flint and steel.
Yeah, I forgot. And plus, this is we're on a border of a forest and a desert. There's got to be some dry ass foliage in this little area.
Yeah, a lot of the cut down trees, you can see the stumps are quite shriveled at this point in the area. The trees inside the forest, though, as thick as they are, the roots are still kind of pulling themselves up. So it looks overall like the forest seems to be healthy further in, but almost as if the mountains in their desert seemingly are crawling towards it. Everything seems to die as the sands get closer.
Yeah. So we won't. It's not like we won't have enough fuel to burn these bodies. Better let these not be able to be reanimated.
Alright, I start collecting foliage and also pile up the bodies.
I can pile the bodies.
Thank you.
I don't think you're strong enough to get that big guy.
No, it's gonna take me a while.
Alright. Tun, give me a strength check just to see how long this takes you.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to pull out my dice, but let's just roll it here. It's fine. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, that's blocking my view. 23.
23. Yeah, as you manage to kind of go into the back and dragging the Gravehounds up to the front, it takes you a good 20 or 30 minutes of doing this, but surprisingly, this is pretty quick as you kind of search around the area, look for any other bodies, kind of grabbing the Thrycranes to drag them over, as bits of them have kind of gone everywhere. Due to the last fight, the kind of ashen pieces take you a few moments of scooping it up and moving it over the best you can. But as you begin doing this, Doots, as you watch Tun begin to kind of move the bodies about, what are you doing?
Grabbing foliage to put on top of the bodies.
Okay.
Like sticks, dead leaves, logs.
Okay. Give me a survival check just for it. See how effective this is.
Alright, just 1 second.
I'll be right back.
Go.
No worries.
12.
12. Alright. Okay. As you begin going about the forest, grabbing up dead sticks, dry bits of branches, pieces of what looks to be flammable grass and such from the ground as you walk away. Just as a heads up, Vigret, you're not muted. Gygax. Thank you.
The wheels on the cart go round and round.
Oh, also,
Okay.
I know, of course, the battle was happening a little bit away from us while we were doing this.
Yes.
Can we still hear a continuing battle, or is it all quiet on the western front here?
Behind you, you can hear it in the distance, yeah. As I mentioned, it seems to be very faint, the occasional sounds of clashing swords and such, but it seems to be rare otherwise.
Alright.
But yeah, give me a second. I'm coming back to you, don't worry. Gygax, so you're just singing there as you're standing, watching this?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
As
Yes,
Guy-
I'm gonna keep singing.
Okay. As Gygax starts singing to his youngin, watching as you two kind of work about, go ahead, Tun.
Yeah. I was gonna just say, it's like, yeah, let's rest up, spend the night, camp up. Because the last thing we need is to just walk through a battlefield.
As Tun looks off into the forest, watching, listening. As the half an hour kind of goes by, as you lot kind of start to gather the stuff, you watch as Captain Bison kind of looks to one side of the party, looks to the other, and as you start kind of gathering everything, just seems to walk over by one of the carts, kind of lifting his head up onto it and leaning the cart slightly down. You watch as he kind of grabs what looks to be a sack of some sort of round object or some sort of round objects in it, and then just starts walking away.
Go grab the bag of apples.
As you give me a search check to see if you can tell if it's a bag of apples.
19.
As you look it over, you kind of staring at for a second, you see the bag looks to be thick. It's round, but as you look around, you don't see any sort of trees that sport fruit. You see a lot of ground, a lot of harsh, dead ground. As you think for a second, Tun, you realize those must be potatoes. Or onions.
Oh shit.
As the Captain Bison and Cinnabari go charging off, kind of heading back, or kind of turning back around towards you guys and charging past the down tree into the forest and back towards what sounds like the battlefront. As you lot kind of begin to light the fire of this little pile now of bodies and bits of grass and dead bush and trees.
Some bugs, some bones, some undead abomination. You know, the holy trinity of how to start a fire.
Yeah, anything and everything that burns. Give me a D20, dudes, as I assume you're going to be the one lighting the fire.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll call it a luck check to see if anything happens.
$17.
Yep. As the fire kind of begins to glow a slight bluish color. Vikrek, are you back? Or Vikrek?
Yeah, I'm back.
Perfect.
I can talk, but
Oh, okay. As we're gonna jump over to you for a moment. As you hear, or you begin hearing the sounds of battle all around you in the underground, the dark caves, as you're running, fleeing from what looks, what was a party of what you know as Thrycreen, another hive of insectoids that are known for hunting your own people and attacking your people. As you're running, feeling the ground rumbling around you, all above you, the slight sounds of something that sounds heavy smacking against something heavier, you begin to see as a bluish light at the about 75 feet in front of you begins to kind of expand out, almost like a burning fire, as you begin to see some light kind of flowing through, and what looks to be a... Well, dudes, can you describe yourself for a second?
Yes. Doots is a 6-foot tall, what looks to be pale elf with white hair, winter clothes, a golden scarf, and I think on his back would be his loot.
Mm-hmm.
I can also post the picture.
And his third arm, I imagine, slightly poking out.
So yeah, his third arm, he does try to keep it like behind his back.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Hero Forge does not allow single arms, so...
Does not. As you see this individual kind of standing on the other side of this bluish light that seems to be appearing as you're running for your life, being chased by these creatures, who, at this point, you're pretty sure about 50-ish feet behind you. What would you like to do? Looking to either side, the tunnel's only about 20 feet wide, and it is just nothing but grayish stone.
I'm gonna continue scuttling forward, hoping that, these people... The people that I'm heading towards do not, to me, look like they're aligned with the Thrycreen, I imagine.
They don't look like bugs. I'll say that. If you want to give me a sense motive real quick to see if you can tell, if you can get anything off of them for that. Any signs of allegiance or any markings that would be easy for you to tell immediately that would be like, oh, these are Thrycreen drones or something?
My whopping, massive +4.
Hey, +4 is not bad.
It's average!
The application did not respond. Let's try that again.
Oh no, do you have the are we gonna have the same issue? Wait, Alright, I've got you on recruit, so you should be able to hit type /roll space 1d20 +4. And if you can't use it here, you can use World Anvil, or if you have another dice roller, I don't mind.
Well, let's try this.
I'm not hardcore on my dice rolls until you finally roll 5 nat 20s in a row. Alright! 18. As you look this individual up and down, You see something that catches your eye almost immediately at the very edge of the fire, or this what looks to be now you seeing what looks to be a fire of some sort. As you get closer, the light or the border around this bluish light that has opened up, seemingly kind of burning and giving the sounds of crackling as you get closer. You see what looks to be a small hand of what you immediately recognize as a thrycreen claw. This creature, this individual that's on the other side of this, is burning the body of a thrycreen, giving you the at least somewhat understand. This creature is definitely not an ally to the ones behind you, chasing you as you start to look.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right. As you charge forward, Dudes, Tuntun, and Gygax, as you're standing there kind of watching the fire burn, looking at the wagons, kind of scoping them out, making sure nothing's coming down from the mountains, and just kind of keeping your wits about you, making sure these bodies do fully burn through. You watch as the fire starts to expand, a ball almost kind of forming at the top as if a little cabbage kind of opening up as it starts to expand out into a ring, opening up a bright light, or what looks to be a thin light screen of bluish coloration. As you look through, you can see the darkened tunnels and what looks to be some sort of semi-colored individual. Would you like to describe yourself, Vicarette? I'm gonna be terrible at pronouncing that.
Whoa, the hard R, bro.
Vicarette is I am red and orange with deep black eyes. I have an artificial arm. Like, one of my arms is very clearly made out of metal and is some device of some kind. It's my left arm. And I'm wearing, I believe, studded leather, which is kind of interesting. And I appear to be running for my life. I have black spots across what parts of my carapace you can see. I am a quadrupedal critter. And I otherwise look like more or less a humanoid ant creature.
So I know you say you're running for your life, but I want to sense motive because
Alright.
I don't know that.
Let's see what you got, Tuntun.
Yeah,
I
let's see
go
what
immediately
Tuntun's got.
into attack mode.
All right.
16.
16. As you stare down Tuntun, kind of noticing Gygax off to the side, readying his punch dagger as he looks down the towards the light. You kind of looking at this, you see for a moment catch a glimpse of what looks to be other creatures that look similar to the ones that are burning on the pile below, rushing up behind. Oh, that's right, you no longer have the punch dagger. I always forget about that. My apologies. As you look behind, you do see what looks to be two tall thrycreen-like figures that stand, you'd guesstimate about 8 feet tall. As you take a second taking the scene in, it looks like the smaller individual up at the front that's kind of looks to be running is seemingly running and being chased by these individuals. For what reason, it's hard to tell, but Tuntun, you've had enough experience as a monster at this point to tell that these two being different might be enough to have caused a disagreement of sorts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Hatching day. Alright, Tuntun will back off from this hole to give space for the escapee to get through.
As Gygax pulls out their longsword. Mm-hmm.
I will at least message Gygax of the situation and how the ant-looking creature is seeming to be in danger, and there are more thrycreen on the way.
How close am I to the portal?
Assumingly you never moved from your spot, you're about 10 feet from the fire, so about 10 feet from the portal that's slightly above it.
I back up 5 feet.
Okay. Alright, as you back up another 5 feet, you're back up against the downed tree that kind of stands at the entering path to this forest as you step back. Alright. Dudes, what about yourself?
So I might have missed that part because I had to leave last session early. There's a portal now.
No, it just happened.
It just showed up, bro.
Just now.
Sorry, I had to step away because I let my dogs in. My bad.
No worries, you're good.
How far away are the Thrycrane?
As you look down, you from the light, or from where this screen, this like light screen is seemingly opened, watching these two coming, they are advancing now at this point about 60 feet from the fire itself, down this long cave.
I don't think that's enough time to check what supplies they had in the cart and take what we can.
Dudes looks back at the cart, looks back at the portal, looks at the cart longingly.
Do I see anything in the cart that just stands out?
Give me a search check.
Alright. I'm so glad the fucking thing came up and I ended up opening up Discord. 21, natural 20.
As you look about for a quick glance, nothing immediately sticks out. There's bags of, most of the stuff looks to be bags and bundles of food, round objects, chests that are overflowing with, what looks to be vegetables and other such items. There doesn't seem to be metal or anything that catches your immediate glance.
I'm gonna grab 2 round bags and go through the portal.
Oh!
That's weird. That's odd. Why would you do that?
Alright! Vicarette, you're about to get a friend. Okay, dudes, yeah, give me let's do you know what, we'll call it a reflex check to see if you, I assume, are you rushing to this, or are you, is this, are you taking your time? Well, it's happening.
Seeing as I don't want to fight Thrycrane, I'm quickly grabbing it and leaving.
Okay.
The Thrycrane are through the tunnel, bro.
Alright.
Through the
There's
portal.
things running towards us through the tunnel from the portal.
Yep.
That's what's going on.
Dude's just joining the battle, bro.
You're going through the portals, bring you to the Thrycrane.
Tun looks at dudes looking for any head injuries, trying to picture when he got hit in the head, and looking back at the entire fight.
I'm pretty sure we did a great job not letting him get anywhere close to the enemies. I'm pretty sure he didn't take a hit of damage.
As you kind of look down at this, dude's looking through the portal, looking back at the sack. Are you still try and grab the round sacks as you watch as this individual is coming running towards you, basically towards the fire itself? No. Okay.
No.
Looking back on it and looking over, Tun kind of nodding as you do continue to watch.
Dude has a turtly hand on his shoulder. Tun just shakes his head. He's like, "Oh, you ain't that guy, bro."
Our master Uguay. All right.
I had an episode. My bad.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bro.
Vicarette, as you kind of as you're running down, you see as the dude's this individual looking like an elf, kind of standing and mostly enveloping the imagery in through this light. Kind of seems to look beyond, past you for a second. Looks as if he seems to be contemplating something, and then stares back at you, waiting. Instead, as he kind of just looks, not doing anything. Well, for a moment, you see in the background just a small glimpse of what looks to be a very large chest, or large treasure chest with a. If I remember, a mohawk?
A red mohawk.
Yeah, a red mohawk.
He's got a mohawk?
A large
I have
red,
one all the time.
A large mohawk, or a large chest with a big red mohawk, kind of come into the side imagery. It hit what looks to be almost hundreds of feet underneath him as he walks over to a corner of what looks to be the light. As you are running full force towards this, what you now realize looks to be a portal of some sort.
Oh, that's terrible, because if it's a portal, then they are not actually within 100 feet of me, because they're not on the same plane of existence, which means I cannot yet telepathically communicate with them.
I will say, I'm using the term portal as a generalized term, not as a specific term. I will say, you are on the mortal plane for your own note. So you are
Okay.
still in the same plane as them. Portal is just a generalized term I use for any sort of like teleportation spell you're gonna see that's just kind of floating there.
Yeah, they still have to be within 100 feet, though.
Yes.
That's the question. So I'm going to try and be like, clear the way, enemies are coming.
As you try to reach out, saying this to anything that they will connect to, you feel this. The normal connection that you'd expect doesn't seem to reach anything as you continue charging forward. Unsure if either the creatures don't seem to be able to communicate, if they're too unintelligent, or if it's the lack of the fact that they are not as close as you think looking at them.
Okay.
But as you continue to rush through, kind of managing to get that 60 feet, the group behind you only catching up an extra 10 feet, now 40 feet behind you, as they start charging. You make it, or as you get up to the light, this fire kind of expanding out. Are you charging right through it, or are you gonna try and scoot past it?
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I like to imagine this portal is like an anthill just formed out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I'm gonna try and squeeze past the fire without, like, fully, well, nah, fuck that. I'm just gonna barrel through it. I have fire resistance. It'll be fine.
Alright. As you charge right through, ignoring it, you find yourself suddenly coming out, feeling a slight tinge of fire around you, a bit of a sizzle. No damage taken, though, as you find yourself suddenly walking and almost stepping into Doots, as you find yourself now standing on the outskirts of what looks to be a massively overgrown forest. A large chest off to your left. Actually, you know what? We'll go in order. Gygax, let's start with you. You want to describe what you look like?
I am a very large chest.
Thank you, Gygax.
Woo!
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah!
I
Okay.
am brown and gray with a blue glow. I have yellow eyes, a red foot-long mohawk that apparently no one knew about this whole time. Yes, so that's me.
Yes, as many 52
And as you looking at me, I look a little hostile, or at least in a hostile stance.
a slight teeth slightly showing and everything. Longsword at the ready. All right, and then Tuntun, would you like to describe yourself?
Yeah. Tun is of the Zoroton race, but most people don't know that. So, essentially, Tun is a giant turtle. If you want to imagine what type of turtle he is, he's more based off like the alligator snapping turtle in terms of what he looks like. His size dimensions is 6 feet by 6 feet by 6 feet. He is well over 13,000 pounds, and he is a mean, biting machine, although he is actually very kind to most people.
And slightly smells of pastries.
Yes, he does have a very sweet smell about him.
As you come charging out of this light or out of this fire, you find yourself almost just stopping just in a moment, just moments before colliding into Doots, who stands now in front of you. The fire behind you going out almost instantly as Doots, Gygax, and Tuntun. You look on, seeing this individual, and behind them sits the same individual in the red cloak or in the red nobleman's clothing from earlier, kind of smiling down. His bright yellow eyes, slightly sharp spiked teeth, two little deer antler horns sticking out of his head, thick long red hair, and looks to be kind of standing roughly about 5-ish feet with the bright red skin as you see Jakix kind of smiling at you.
I thought Jakix teleported away. He
He did
back.
earlier. Yeah, he did earlier. He did.
Huh.
as he kind of looks over at Vicarat and then to Gygax and Tun and then to Doots and goes, "My good gentlemen, I see you found my good a new friend here. I hope you don't mind. I thought they make a very interesting addition to you lot, given as he looks about looking for Captain Bison and Cinnabari.
Taunton is very confused because I'm pretty sure this might be one of the first times we've ever seen Jakix at this party.
Uh-huh. Well, I think Doots potentially almost... No, never mind, that was the other party. Never mind, yeah, this is the first time you have, I believe... Well, no, they did meet Jakix when you were working. One of the days you missed.
Mm. Yeah, so this is the first time Taunton's seen this guy. He's like...
In the caves in Zebral's land. You saw him once.
Yes, that's right. You also met him there where he took out the Illithid guards.
Yeah.
As he looks over at you, Vicarat, he kind of steps down, a cane seemingly materializing into his hand from a little bit of what looks to be reddish smoke, as he kind of leans on it and smiles over at you and goes, "Now that you're... Well, you don't know me yet, but soon you will. We have investors that are interested in both of us are in common. Anyways, if I may, I ask that you lot... I know that you're traveling without a companion," as he turns back over to Tun and Gygax and Doots and goes, "And you lost your friend Melvin recently. I figure," as he twirls his staff, "maybe you could use someone like this, and I think they would make a great addition to your party. They don't yet know of their own importance."
Who are you?
He looks down at you, Gygax, and smiles and goes, "A friend to the many legs everywhere."
Hold that thought. I'm gonna look behind me. Is the portal still open?
As you look back, the fire is gone. It has burned out, and the bodies are nothing but a thick ash.
So the portal is closed.
Correct.
Excellent. Continue.
I'm Many Legs. How... I don't know you, Jakix.
Allow me. I support monstrous individuals that are not recognized yet by that horrible collective. Well, I reckon, like, a good example of your friend here, as he kind of kind of nudges his hand over towards Vicarat. Can't. There we go. As he kind of smiles and goes, "Think of it like the idea of a difference between a thrycreen and another insectoid, if you will. How would you tell the difference, and how would you know what ones to trust? You wouldn't without experiencing it. I make sure that those who have scared others are taken care of and protected." As he kind of smiles, he goes, "Like that Pierre fellow."
Whatever happened to him?
Let's just say he took the wrong mustache oil. But, with that in mind, I don't think your employer will have too much of an issue of you bringing on a new hand. And as he looks over once again to Vicarat and goes, "And since you seem to not have anywhere else to go, may I recommend you join this little group. They'll keep you alive, make sure you're strong enough to survive, and build towards what you wish." As he gives a kind of thick smile.
That sounds like a workable arrangement.
He nods as he looks back to Doots and goes, "Of course I would be happy to compensate you if you feel the need. I think it only right that I give you something in exchange. How about a good that could help you later?"
What would this good be?
It's an essence of something I'm working on. In truth, it works like magic. You drink it, and it gives you magical abilities. Think of it in a sense of experimental. I'm not 100% sure what it will do, but it hasn't killed me or anyone else that's drank it. Nor any horrendous side effects, thankfully, but again, I've only had it for about a month. I developed it through the usage of some individuals down south. He kind of pulls out a little, pretty small vial, about a shot glass vial with a tiny cork in it. The cork seems to be almost kind of painted black at the top, and the side of the vial seems to be a thick crystal as he shakes it about. There's probably, as you'd guessed, no more than maybe about 2 droplets of actual liquid in this small vial.
Is it majority air?
Yes, by the looks of it. And he just kind of looks at you waiting as he holds it up.
I'll take it.
As you do, he smiles and goes, "Now, don't use it unless you're at the verge of death. And don't feed it to the big one," as he points over to Tun-Tun.
Tun-Tun was very sad at that.
I can almost promise you if they have no ability to use magic, they will implode.
Tun-Tun is like, alright, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'll keep that in mind.
He nods as he looks back over over each of you and goes, "Well, with that, I do appreciate your assistance and your time. I must be going. I have a necromancer to experiment on. If you ever happen to be in any of the towns and see me, feel free to bring any of your wares. I've found myself independent recently with a lot of coin to spend, and I'm always happy to take odds and ends off of quite qualified adventurers such as yourselves." As he gives a thick smile once more with that, teeth bared.
Be sure to make sure that the polarities of whatever you're doing to the necromancer match the necromancer. Because if it is an undead, you have to reverse them, otherwise you'll get adverse effects.
Kind of looks at Vicar at that and nods appreciatively and goes, "I know that. I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate your assistance. It seems I was right to choose to help you. Anyways, I must be on my way. Toodles," as he turns and kind of lights the cart on fire slightly as he taps it with his staff, the blue fire expanding out as he walks right through it. It seems to dissipate as soon as he does.
Ah, so that vial was a muscatool.
Tools? Wait. Jason, I don't think I should.
This dude kind of looks about, thinking in his inner monologue.
Well, I'll turn to the newest party member and extend a hand. Greetings. Nice to meet you. My name is Doots.
I accept the hand with my artificial one. I appear to be left-handed, despite the fact that it's the mechanical one.
Mm-hmm. The cold metal on your hand, it's as you kind of feel, it seems to have a slight warmth for a moment, and the dull orangish color to it. Is something you've never really seen before, dudes. But it seems to work as if it was a normal hand grabbing hold and clasping and shaking your hand.
I guess this is as well as the time as ever. Welcome to the Cryptic Cabal. We hope to... Well, we'll do our best to try and keep you alive.
I look over at the group, kind of like appraising them.
Mm-hmm. As you look them up and down, are you trying to get any information?
Just more or less get a feel for,
Like abilities, we talking magic items, capability as a party.
A little bit of all of that, really.
Alright, I'll tell you what, give me an appraise check, we'll call it for this.
Okay. Appraise is pretty good. You know, it's alright. It's a very modest 1d20 plus 15. 29.
As you look them up and down, kind of starting with Tun Tun, you immediately recognize the very rare mineral or metal of mithril. It is a extremely rare metal to find amongst the lands that your clan or your hive would have been within previously. A metal that was considered to be so far underground it wasn't worth it for the predators and creatures that would stalk the Underdark in the areas. Yet this turtle-like creature, which you know at least what a turtle is. There are plenty of like subspecies of turtles in different areas that have like different specializations, kind of like basically like hogs and sheep. This one seems to be made, like have a shell made of this stuff. Not only that, but he has got two massive saddlebags on either side that are filled, and what looks to be glowing red armlets on each of his arms. He looks to be quite capable as an individual, and the helmet with the spear on it seems to glow a bright blue, which you'd recognize this blue to be similar to what is associated with magic. Those who have this like blue are casters. Though looking him up and down, he is definitely, if he is a caster, the surface is a lot scarier than you thought because that is a strong-looking caster. Typically, even magic casters amongst your hive were typically skinnier and weaker and leaner looking than their more physical counterparts. Looking over to Gygax, who looks to be, honestly, with the longsword, the only one that showed you any sort of battle capability so far, as he looks to be in a pose ready to fight, as if he is just as comfortable killing you as he is watching or standing there and waiting. As you look him up and down, you're pretty sure that this creature here is probably the most dangerous of the lot. Not for necessarily his ability, but because he is just doesn't seem to have that off switch. He's just a monster in every form of truth.
Do a sense motive 21.
Ooh. What are you trying to figure out?
The safety of Doots, Tuntun, myself, and my offspring.
Okay, we're gonna get to that here in a second. And as you look over Doots, the last thing you get is that Doots looks to be the least capable of the three. He doesn't look to have any heavy carapace, no heavy metals on him. He doesn't seem to be carrying any obvious big weapons. Nothing seems to immediately catch your attention. He has an instrument that, I mean, you've seen trolls that carry instruments. They make great meals because they're usually really weak and really easy to capture. They like to make a lot of noise, but usually don't put up much of a fight. As you kind of look him up and down, he's the only one that seems to give almost a lack of any true ability, which kind of gives almost a slight fear that he's able to walk around with these other two. As you kind of take a second, looking him over, almost the lack of preparedness makes him look just as intimidating and dangerous. As you kind of appraise his abilities. Gygax, with your sense motive looking at the individual, taking a second and eyeing them up, looking about your party, and looking at this new found potential ally that Dutz is already willingly putting himself right in the hands of, you kind of take a second and look them up and down. There's nothing about them that immediately looks threatening. They look to be, everything about their body language just looks to be somewhat curiosity, a slight concern, as you'd expect any new individual coming into an armed group of individuals, though it seems at the smallest, and I imagine more just overall a calmness that you're no longer being chased. Do I have that pretty much correct, Vicaret?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a sigh of relief, if you think it really, yeah.
Okay, then I psionically link with Doots. This one is a no eat.
Yeah, I respond mentally.
I put the sword away and just sort of plop all my 51 feet underneath me and just turn into a regular looking chest, not even moving, but I'm humming.
Stop humming your song. As Gygax kind of goes back into, turns into a chest, kind of sitting there humming to himself, as you look kind of now almost somewhat in a standoff standing here, the sounds of distant battle now kind of almost fading to the occasional sound of a single sword clashing against another, every few seconds the occasional scream, but otherwise it seems to almost die down completely behind you. The hefty mountains above, in front of you, seemingly kind of starting to see the sun climbing over them and bearing down on you lot.
I will also introduce the party. I point to Gygax, that is Gygax. And I point to Tuntun, that is Tuntun. He does not speak any form of common, but seems to understand everything, and has the ability to, as of recent, as from what I've noticed, talk mentally. So.
Is that unusual for your kind?
Dude staring blankly at the insectoid, realizing for a moment, yeah, wait, Thrycreen, insectoids are similar, wait.
My kind don't typically speak telepathically.
I see.
I will say...
So if
keep
you
that
prefer,
in mind.
if you'd like to, we can.
Immediately in your head, noted.
All right then.
I will say, Vikra, as you link to Doots, something for a moment, you get a spark, something seemingly seems to connect, but disconnect almost, as if you feel a secondary presence inside Doots' head, just for a moment, and it seemed to vanish. You would recognize this feeling similar to something that happens amongst your own people and other creatures that live in the Underdark. Those who seem to what they call carry a second mind seem to go mad and disappear from the hive.
My antenna just started bobbing up and down as though like think of it as like someone typing on hitting a typewriter, not to type anything out, but just thinking.
They look like they're just kind of bopping up and down, kind of moving about.
Yeah.
Is something the matter?
Information. There's a lot of it going about. I need a little bit of time to process. I am in a new location. After all.
I'm minding with dudes well, if this is a lot of information for them, I don't think they want to go into my mind.
You can't hear this.
I say out loud. I say out loud with my voice. I am Vikaret. I am a tinkerer, an artificer.
Ton out loud says, Ton. Yeah, that's it.
I turn to Doots as if to ask for a translation.
Kind of looking back at the turtle, looking down at the mysterious stoned face Ton.
So, the only thing he can't say in common is his name. That could either mean he just said his name, or he was saying hello. I don't really know.
I see.
Very quietly, I speak up, or he wants a dessert.
Ton will pull his head in his shell and come out with a pastry and start chewing on it.
As you watch Tuntun kind of pulls his head in, which normally snapping turtles can't do. Just for those who listen and are very big on that, that's not normal. But Tuntun is Zoraton. As he pulls his head in, and turns aside, looking at the embassy, and leans his neck over the small little embassy for pixies, nixies, and I forget what the third one is. As he grabs one of the pastries off from the back of the little vault area, pulling his neck back over the fence and coming back out with it in his mouth.
Interesting.
That was it, Nixie's.
Tauntaun is going to go and give a glance over at the carts.
Alright. Go ahead, dudes. Yes?
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. Yeah, Tuntun, as you kind of walk now with pastry in mouth, watching as Vicaret and dudes kind of continue talking, you start walking over. Jesus Christ. You start walking past the or over towards the carts, looking up and climbing up onto them to look in. Are you looking for anything specific, or are you just kind of taking a look in general?
Taking stock, mostly about the condition of the cart itself, not exactly the supplies.
Oh, okay. Give me an appraise check then to see how good the cart shape is. Unless for some reason you have like craft woodworking.
21.
Okay. Okay. As you look at this, kind of looking at the cart, you do see a little bit. The front cart's got a little bit of a burn mark on where the wagon's like rider would normally sit, from where Jakix kind of lit it on fire, tapping it to create his portal. Kind of climbing further down, you see there is some singes on the side of the cart as well, but it doesn't look like anything that's irreplaceable. Though the supplies inside are completely burned to cinder, from what you can tell on the first cart.
So the supplies in the first cart is pretty much worthless.
Yeah, they're gone. Continuing back, the other three carts to the back all seem to be somewhat filled with supplies. As you kind of air your mouth with it, you find a lot of potatoes and onions inside of it. Kind of the smell immediately catching your attention as one of the burlap bags opened up. But as you kind of push yourself off, it doesn't seem like any of the other three wagons seem to have any damage besides a couple of nicks and clacks, slashes here. Nothing that would be like, oh, this thing's irreversibly unworkable.
So, I know that these were pulled by, these last three were pulled by the Bone Dogs, and I'm not sure about the proper terminology, but do they have, like, the two, like, long sticks that come out from the cart that's used to attach to, like, the bridle and straps? Alright, cool.
Yep, these seem to be set up for a mount of any size, of large or small to large. Gotcha.
All right. Is Doots still communicating with Vic?
I assume as you look back, Vicaret and Doots, as you kind of are kind of talking to each other, seeing Tuntun kind of head down the carts, kind of starting to peer into him. Did either of you wish to do anything?
I wanted to. Well, now that we're not being under a potential threat of combat, I would like to go into better detail, looking over the stock, seeing what's there besides just food, if they had any.
Give me another search check as you kind of walk past, heading towards the cart. And then, while you do that, Vicaret, as you watch dudes kind of head around you and head towards the carts, looking at them, as well as Tuntun, is there anything you'd like to do?
That potion was handed to Doots, right?
Yes.
Did Doots tell me their name?
Doots did not. Doots introduced himself. He didn't say Jakix, though. So if that's what you're asking, they did say Jakix's name, though.
Okay. Yeah, I just fire a message off into Doots' brain. That potion. Let me see what it does.
Okay, but Just don't drink it. I was told that, well, you heard it. Don't drink it unless you're about to die.
Yeah.
And I will hand the potion
Okay.
to you.
As you hand this small vial over, looking at Vikret, you see the liquid inside seems to go from like a purplish color to a greenish color to an orange, and then settles once back to blue, as it seems to give a slight bubble as you kind of move it about. Most of the vial looks to be air, except for the two what looks to be droplets at the very bottom. So.
Okay.
Alright. As you kind of start looking at it, is there anything you wanted to do with while you're looking at or were you just planning to hold on to it for the time being?
I would like to try and spend a minute to identify this potion using spellcraft.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, give me a spellcraft roll to see if you get anything special for it, and then yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can use the slash roll function instead of the exclamation.
Gygax is just circling around the tree, playing with a squirrel that he's found, letting it chase him around.
Oh, hey, I have.
Slowly following dudes.
Oh, okay.
I
Good.
have brew potion, so I get a +2 bonus to this.
Nice.
Yay! I have to use dex. Okay. D20 plus 36.
36. Okay. As you begin to kind of examine it, the potion, kind of look, taking a second, find yourself a nice, like the broken down stump of the tree that has fallen over, and kind of leaning against it as you start to look over this thing. We'll come back to you in a moment as you start going through this. I'm going to send you a message as well for what you figure out. As we jump back over to Dutes being followed by Gygax. Dutes, what was your spot check?
The great and powerful 3. Yeah.
As you look through, the materials are all about the area seem to be nothing but onions, potatoes, and bags of cloth or of raw, what looks to be some sort of cotton-like material. Nothing else seems to be in these carts. As you kind of toss them about, looking in, nothing seems to catch your attention. As you get to your first couple of sacks, you give up ignoring it and deciding it's just not worth continuing.
Okay. Nah. All right. Yeah, totally nothing else worth here. Bunch of food.
All right. As you begin to take a look, as you continue to look over it,
As Dude says food, and when I am close enough to a cart, I will use a pseudopod to slowly reach up and over and into the cart, find the first piece of food I can, and bring it back and put it in my mouth.
all right. As you kind of go to grab one, are you going for a potato or an onion, out of curiosity, or just whatever random you eat?
First thing I touch.
All right. You know what? Give me a D4.
Even if it's the entire sack, I will grab it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, give me a D4. Let's see what you get.
I'm guessing it's not going to work. Nope, application did not respond, so I have hard ones. Roll this.
Oh, is Avray giving us issues tonight?
Oops, that was an 8, not before. Oops.
What did you get?
3.
3. As you pull down this thick cloth, like leather bag, and kind of pull it in your mouth, biting down on it, the thick, heavy, crunchy metal kind of starts to clank in your mouth As you chew, you get the heavy taste of what feels like thick bars of iron as you swallow 36 pounds of iron.
Are they all one bar, or is it loose bars?
They're loose bars. They're all about a pound each.
Alright, I start spitting some of it out at Doots, or at his feet.
Alright. As you start
I ate 4 of them.
As you swallow down 4 of them and start spitting out the rest over towards Doots, a small little pile begins to form, Doots, as you see these thin little iron bars kind of set out onto the ground. As they start kind of clattering together, as Tun finishes his last examination of the reins for the carts, kind of looking to see if he could attach one to himself, and looking it up and down, realizing pretty clearly this thing looks to be easily able to be pulled by him if he had to.
Mm-hmm.
But as you kind of look, as the bars kind of go clattering to the ground, about this point, Vicarat, you also finish up looking over this potion. Kind of looking over at the party as you see hear the metal bar starting to clatter onto the ground.
Okay.
Start heading over to Doots with the potion in hand.
Alright. I assume Tun, are you also coming back to the rest of the party? Are you going to start trying to harness yourself up?
I'm actually going to see if I can attach all of the carts together like a train, like train cars, attaching one to another and then that to another, so I can drag them all at the same time.
Do you have any crafting or knowledge skill, or sorry, crafting or profession skills for it?
Profession mercenary. If anything, I would at least, because I mean I don't have really opposable thumbs to do any of this with, so actually I would I would talk to Doots in his head and be like, hey, can we sorry, my good man, I wish to drag all of these cars at once back to our allies in arms. Do you think you could potentially, with the help of our new compatriot and Gygax, potentially attach all of these carts together in a I don't know how you would call it, but segmented, like an insect's body.
Sure. I'll see what we can do.
Because I think I might be able to drag all of this by myself.
All right. So after, I guess, I'll start looking at the carts and seeing if I can find a way to connect them. Whether it's
You could probably talk to Vic first, before you do that, though.
yeah. Yes, Vic.
This is a potion that is called Illithid Mind Scorch. It is made from the brain matter of recently slain Illithid.
Dun. Screaming. Sorry.
Oh.
Anyone caught with this by Illithid will likely be devoured by the Illithid. I just very calmly put it in your hand.
Looking down at this for a second, dude, you feel the immediate pull to put this thing away in somewhere safe and off of you.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll with my immediate reaction, which was, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Oh no.
I'm gonna look away, and I'm gonna push any bit of knowledge and thought about this potion away into a box, lock this box up, and push it even further into the depths of my mind where it will never come to light.
Dog, don't worry, you've already heard it, so he has too.
At the mention of box, my lid closes and solidifies and actually sounds like there are tons and tons of locks and latches being cured.
Listen, If you listen, Duntun's not gonna be happy about this one, boys.
So, this is a problem. I don't want this potion anymore.
I stare at it. I look at you.
I put it in my pack all the way, like in a secure spot, away from everything. I close my pack and I'm gonna pretend I no longer have this and that this was pickpocketed into me.
I'll be honest, Vicarat. It's not hard to get the like nervousness on this individual's face. As the fear, the sudden change of them closing their eyes and doing all of this extra work. There's something that is obviously wrong with this individual currently.
You are distressed. I say this out loud.
I try and control myself as I do not like, or I try not to express a lot of emotion. So I try to hide my distress.
Give me a bluff check.
No. I'm fine. Everything's okay. I have to once again click away and add.
On world
25.
Oh.
Yeah.
You managed to keep your cool, kind of closing up your face, sucking the tears back into your eyes. The sweat kind of re-pulling itself into the glands. You feel calm and collected, as if the world is not ending, and that you don't totally have something in your backpack that your boss is completely messaging me and panicking about right now.
I'm gonna be honest. My concern now, I'm just more concerned mentally about that, like out of character. If it's freaking him out, I don't know if I should have this. Let's go ahead and see if we can connect these carts into a line to be pulled.
Oh. Are you like asking? Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah, if you can help, that would be very much appreciated.
I go to the back of the first cart
Mm-hmm.
and inspect what materials there are to connect the back of the first cart to the front of the second cart.
So what you can tell is you do see they have the long, like, wooden poles out, to, like, basically to be a stabilizer to keep the mount kind of guiding the wheels from beneath the wagon. So this wagon's actually quite advanced to note. It has basically front-wheel drive, if you will. And as you kind of take a look, it does have what looks to be somewhat of a rein set up to be like put around a creature of either small to large in size, like a bridle of sorts that seems to be adjustable. It looks to be a leather strip. As you kind of look at the two pieces, you can give me a woodworking check, or you can just give me an intelligence check.
So,
Yes.
as it happened,
Uh-huh.
I don't have woodworking. I have leatherworking, smithing, and clockwork for all craft skills.
I'll take leatherworking.
I also have
craft
knowledge.
bags.
I also have knowledge, architecture, and engineering.
I'll take that plus the knowledge, architecture, and engineering. That makes sense. And what? Gygax, what was that?
I have craft bags.
So
Leather, cloth, and those kind of things, I would be able to understand their strength and their weaknesses. So I could inspect leather.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll take the craft leather. Yeah, I'll do the leather. I think that makes sense because the bags thing is
Master
leather
of
bags.
burlap.
Yep. 24. Oh, there we go. We got one.
That's the knowledge.
Okay. Oh my
Architecture,
god.
engineering.
Okay.
And then this is the leatherworking, which is going to be a little bit less
10.
than
Okay.
plus 15.
Okay. All right. Oh, damn. Alright, as Gygax, you look it up and down, kind of looking at the leather a little bit. It's good quality leather, but there's no holes immediately that you see that would be really easy to kind of set this up. And without woodworking tools, and looking at this, it'd take you a good bit without trying to shatter the wood. But the leather's high quality is what you managed to gather, and so you're pretty sure it'd comfortably manage to hold at least what's in the wagons currently. As Vic, as you kind of Vicarate, as you kind of stare at this, right, looking at the thing, you realize taking the leather and creating holes in the back of the wagons, you could tie them in like a train for Tun to pull. It also looks like, as you kind of see it, they are a front-wheel drive looking wagons, meaning that where the poles are kind of leaning will be define where the wagons go. In theory, as you look at, you could tie all the straps together and tie them straight onto Tun to pull all four next to each other. Either would work, but as you kind of look at a long, thin train looking down the road ahead would be a bit easier for traversing the current train ahead of you.
All right, then I'm just gonna start setting about getting that worked out.
Okay. All right. As Vicar kind of starts pulling apart, taking. Do you have any toolkits? I assume not. But
Yeah.
we didn't get a chance to do your buying of items before session, unfortunately, like I normally do for players. So.
I would have bought a toolkit if I could have afforded it.
I think you've got what 2d4 worth of gold, which is 8 plus crossbow bolt each. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Leveled characters start with a lot of money.
Oh, that's true. What is
For
it?
base rolls. Do you want me to pull up level 5? Because it's a lot.
If you want to send it to me real quick, and then yeah, I'll just put that in the background. If you want to add a kit, an item or a kit for each of your crafting, you are more than welcome to from the coin once we have the number.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Ping me. Oh. But as you begin to work about kind of cutting and working on the wagons, it's going to take about a good hour of kind of getting everything set up kind of to get it cleanly worked. So while that happens, Tun, Dutes, and Gygax.
I will say, while all of the stuff are being tied together, I should probably, because since all of the supplies in that first cart were ruined, we don't really need it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going to push that off to the side, as well as move the tree that we pushed out in front of the road.
Okay.
Because we're going to need to move that to get through.
Give me a strength check for the tree, and we'll call that for that. As the
Since
cart.
I'm no good.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Yeah, since I'm no good with the attaching of the carts, I'm gonna help Tun.
Okay. Kind of push the tree. Yeah.
When you start to push the empty cart to the side, I say, no, that one's staying.
Okay.
21.
21. All right. As the two of you push the tree away, yeah. Do you as you start to kind of nudge the cart off to the side of the road, as Vicarat kind of waves you off. Either of you do anything about that?
I'll give a quizzical look, as much as a turtle can give. Kind of
eyebrows.
like the eyebrows, right? My eyebrows are like, I want more information. Why not?
We could sleep in this cart.
I look at myself. I look at the cart. I look at myself. I look at the cart.
I gesture
at
towards
Tun.
the rest
I
of the
look at
party
me.
that can all fit in the cart.
I mean, to be fair, none of us have ever slept in anything but the floor.
It's simply true. Gygax also I was gonna say, Gygax, how much do you weigh? It's got like, I think you're more than Tun at this point.
I
I
can't
weigh
imagine
1,000 pounds.
Only 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I oh god, no. That is nowhere near close.
No, but I look at Tun, I look at me, I look at the cart, and I'm like, no.
I mean, I'm certain
We
the
just
cart
sleep
could.
in there.
I'm certain the cart could hold your weight, but it certainly couldn't hold me.
Yeah, it's also my size. I am a large creature now.
Ooh. As you kind of take a minute looking at that, looking at the cart, and looking back at them, the wagon looks like it could probably hold Gygax's weight, but Tun is just heavy looking. I mean, a solid mithril turtle would be hard to lift on a normal day. As you look at this wagon, you're almost 100% sure that it will not be able to support his weight.
Yeah, but improving the quality of life of some of the party is a step along the way of improving the quality of life for the whole party.
I mean, it's a burnt wagon.
Yeah, that's more than a not burnt wagon.
Listen,
like,
grass is comfortable than hardwood.
Alright, so Tun.
How much room is there underneath the cart? How high off the ground?
Roughly about 2 feet off the ground, I would say. Because it has a pretty decent space. That includes like the front junction, like that kind of tilts the front wheels either way. So it'd be
How
about
far are
2
the
feet.
wheels apart from left to right?
6 feet in width, because this would be a medium-sized cart. So 6 feet in width and length, yeah.
I go to the back of the slightly burnt cart. I flatten myself and slowly walk underneath the cart and go, I'm comfortable under here.
Alright, Tun will just let it be then. It's another thing he has to pull across, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'll get to moving the tree. I mean, to be fair, if the weight is eventually going to be too much, then that for cart's just going to have to be the first one to go.
Alright. As you two begin as Gygax kind of climbs under, getting comfortable, and Tun kind of waits patiently, waiting to be mounted up with the fourth cart. Dudes, what are you doing during these? It's still an hour because we're not removing the burnt cart. So yeah, what are you doing during the hour?
I mean, I'm gonna see what I can do to help with just getting the carts tied together or put together. If I am not going to be much of a help, I'll try and put in. Well, actually, no, I won't do that. Yeah, I'll just try to help with the carts.
Okay. Just give me a D20 roll, unless you have like craft woodworking or something of the sort.
I do not. I know that off the top of my head.
I mean, you could try and be a cheer squad. I'll take a perform if you want to just play music to instead.
Play the house building song from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know this song, but I'm down with it. Let's.
All right, let me pull up the lyrics for it.
Man's gonna break out his celestial banjo.
Yeah. Perform is 22.
22. Yeah, as you begin to play, the rest of you feel inspired as an aura of courage kind of goes around a lot of you, feeling your attack rolls increase by 1, your morale increase by 1, as well as a minor bonus of feeling your crafting checks increase by 5 temporarily.
Oh, nice.
Well, let me have a ruler and a saw and a board, and I'll cut it. I'll climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail, and I'll nail it.
As you want to sing the whole thing? I'll let you.
No, listen, no. Let's continue.
Dudes, when for the extra DM, my spectator, can you go message Wolf when the Jakix attacked the guards and explain that situation to him real quick and tell him I told you to? Thank you. As the rest of you kind of listen to this music, hearing the inspiration kind of as you do, the cart, you begin to work faster, Vicaret, as you begin to tear into this, cutting more precise holes, getting a single tear into this, making the leather, or seemingly binding the leather without any issues. It takes you only about 45 minutes as you finish up a little bit quicker than you expected, as Dudes kind of continues singing throughout the whole thing.
I'm really good at this.
I sure fucking hope.
As the music kind of dies down, looking down, like wiping away the heat and feeling the dry heat coming down on you. The cart's finished now, all attached on. Tun, as you find yourself kind of wrapped up in the bridle, the thing looks to be ready to go.
Tun with his 13,000 pounds of drag that he's able to pull is ready to go.
All right. Vicaret and Dutes, are you climbing in the cart?
If anyone wants, they can assist with at least getting the carts going.
I walk to the very, very back and get ready to push.
Okay.
I will assist. I don't imagine I'll be much help, but
All right, Dutes.
we're in this together.
As you kind of head to the back doing so. Much of these carts seem to have had their space removed in between them. A lot of the wood broken, cracked up, and cut up to kind of make it so there's not as much distance to pull, making it a little easier, like a small train cart. Alright, and then Vicaret, what about you? Are you just going to kind of stand back watch? You plan to help out, or are you jumping in a cart and letting them pull you too?
I'm hovering about the carts to make sure that the joists and the connections are all secure and stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
I'm doing my part, I'm just not helping push.
Okay, yeah, so you kind of look about listening or anything to popping out or any cracks in the wood. Alright, Dutes, Gygax, and Tun, let's get that strength check. Let's go.
Alright.
Let's see if you get it on the first try or if you gotta get lean with it.
Let's get my more mechanical looking dice on this.
I need to get you a bullet D20, man, to go with the rest. I don't know what
Yeah, I
that
know,
would look
right?
like, but we'll find something.
I don't think Gygax is pulling.
Gygax, like the mud or the sandy dirt is new. Gygax isn't really big on beaches and getting it. Oh my god,
Beaches are
Dutes.
my specialty. 26.
Don't worry, you're doing all the work. Dutes is also not pulling.
Dudes who isn't really physically that strong and doesn't normally do much physical labor kind of also starts to shove on the back, getting the back one to kind of rock a little bit. Dun, you feel the pull, the inspiration, the enjoyment. Vicaret, give me let's just call this a intelligence check sorry, let's do a knowledge check for it again with the architecture and engineering and see if this thing holds together, if anything catches your attention. As this thing starts rocking forward.
But while that's happening, Tun is connecting to Dutes and Gygax, saying, "Hey man, thank you, gentlemen, for the help pushing me off. I could feel all of your strength going into it. It made my departure so much easier. I truly believe that they helped. I mean, they
That's
did.
fine.
Yeah, man. No problem.
Captain Bison in the distance shouting for inspiration.
33.
Easily. As Tun starts kind of telling the Gygax and Dutes at the back, as the Dutes and Gygax, you struggle taking everything and shoving with all you can, the back cart barely moving as Tun, you feel the surge come through you, strength, every ounce of your strength, you start to pull forward, neck straining, mouth still slightly filled with a cream-filled eclair. As you pull forward, the whole thing starts to rock. The slight sounds of cracking and wobbling starts to begin, Vicaret, as you hear kind of panicking, looking about for a moment before you are able to stop it. The cart continues to move forward, and nothing seems to snap, surprisingly. As the wheels seem to pull forward and starts to move, Tun seems to slow his pace a bit, and the cart seems to kind of almost pull itself with his momentum.
Okay, cool.
As Tun, you start kind of moving forward, stepping into the air and off the ground and pulling the air underneath you, basically, as you do so. Your armlet's slightly glowing, a little red as you begin to pull. Everything going forward, you begin to sit in a nice, comfortable place. Gygax and Dutes, are you climbing on, I assume, or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna climb on.
Onto the back, alright. Gygax?
I'm gonna climb on top of the last carts to keep
Okay.
an eye out in the rear.
Okay, so you're going to stay at the back. Okay. And then, Vicaret, are you also going to jump on as the cart starts moving forward once you're confident?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as you all three start to climb on, jumping aboard, with a Tuntun pulling it, Dutes and Vikrat, I assume, making their way to the front of the cart to up to Tuntun, and Gygax taking a lodging at the back. The cart begins to move.
Yeah, and just making note of spots that appear to be stressed or anything like that, and starting to work out a blueprint in my brain to upgrade the cart later on.
Okay. Alright, as you start making notes, looking at this and keeping count for a moment, looking at the cart, it doesn't take much to kind of get an idea. But you can go ahead and give me another roll if you want to, if you're looking for anything specific.
Yeah.
We'll call it a knowledge, architecture, and engineering once more.
What's one more engineering check?
Hey, it's we've got our sense motive objection emote for the other group coming up, so their Sunday's favorite role is sense motive.
That's Maya's favorite role, but nonetheless.
All right. Let's see what 28. Jesus. All right. As you kind of start looking over this, the wagons, kind of taking notes, seeing where the cracks are, seeing where the wood could be reshaped up, seeing kind of taking note of the trees around the area that look to be more sturdy, and kind of noting Tuntun's where his weight's pulling, where he's seemingly dragging, and kind of seeing that where Gygax and Dute settled themselves. You start to get a clearer idea of what you could turn this train potentially into as a movable, almost caravan for the party.
Yeah.
All right, Tuntun, where are you taking us?
Well, back down the road. From which we
On
came.
the road again?
All right, you going back to the town, or are you?
The plan is to go back to the town unless we come across the troll army, in which we will drop off the supplies there.
Okay. Yeah. As you spend about a day's march, marching through the forest, as you get to the edge of it, the almost lack of sound, deafening from earlier now. No sounds of swords, no sounds of clashes, no sounds of screams. It's almost unnaturally silent as you all start to kind of follow your way through. With that, Tuntun, give me... Oh, actually, everyone who's actively paying attention, give me a search check. And is kind of on the lookout. Let's see if we got any good ideas here.
5.
Since I'm not actively searching, I'm just on the road, can I argue for a spot check?
Sure. 5. Oof.
16.
16, okay.
11.
Look,
11, okay.
I'm trying to get skill focused perform. I'm focusing on this.
Listen, guys, the day that I have to make a swim check, it's gonna be great. I promise.
Oh my, that's an amazing upgrade for a cart. I just saw that. As Vicar, you kind of focuses in, kind of taking mental notes of the entirety of the the little caravan you've got going, and making note of where the issues are. Tuntun looking about, the thick mud seems to almost be or strange to you, as immediately something that catches your attention is your footprints aren't here. It's been less than a few hours, and they're gone already, yet no rain's coming down as you look up, the thick canopy blocking out any sense of water kind of dripping down. The heavy forest around you with the thick roots seemingly looking as if they could easily suck up anything into the ground. It's almost strange that your footprints have disappeared completely. As you continue to head forward with a 6 from Dutes, kind of searching about Dutes, you focusing on this song and kind of working on it. Still, I imagine lightly singing it in the background as the group kind of continues on. Your mind seems to be elsewhere as you kind of watch the opening of the forest, kind of more expecting an attack at any moment and looking for the sound or listening for the sounds of metal on metal. Gygax, at the back of the caravan, you see for the briefest of moments a glimpse of something very large at the other end of the forest, as a massive shadow seems to almost block out where there was light coming from there. only a moments ago, something big enough to block out the entirety of that area's light, as if it seemed almost to go pitch black for mere moments and then dissipate. The last thing you catch a glimpse of is something with a large and bulbous carapace before the cart continues to move out of sight.
I lick the air. Does my tongue tingle?
Your tongue does not tingle.
Okay. I sonically link to Doots and let him know what I sort of kind of saw.
Uh, where exactly? As I try to look in that direction.
As you look back, with your earlier search check, you do not see anything.
It was kind of behind us.
Keep an eye out. We might be into combat soon.
Okay.
Alright, as Tun Tun continues forward, kind of coming to the edge of the forest, you see as a massive camp almost expands out. Hundreds of trolls walking about, the sounds of burping and belly aching amongst the troops as the camp itself seems to expand out, almost as if you just walked into Seji's own capital city. Bits of hide and leather tents, all seemingly set up, some with large bones, some using the trees themselves, some seemingly built out of stone that they have simply willed together into a teepee-like figure shape. As you kind of come out of the forest, the heavy camp looks to be spotted with bodies of Thrycreen that have been kind of set up almost on the edge of the forest, like a wall on either side of the road. Kind of as you come out, a large, what looks to be grayish troll with thick white beard, standing about 8 feet tall in heavy green-looking metal plate or a full plate, comes walking over. Looking at you, his long nose kind of sticking out with a small pimple on the end of it, and as he snarls and goes, "Who are you lot with?"
Tonton will just stop moving. Not wanting to talk to this man in his mind. Hopefully, Doots will say something.
Dudes?
Caleb, you there?
Oh, Dude's muted. He stepped away.
Oh, okay.
Dude's his a side girlfriend that we haven't gone into in the series yet. Kind of needs some assistance. So for the viewers at home, you didn't know Dude's a family man, and unfortunately, he doesn't like to tell his party mates about that grand adventure.
I hereby name myself Doots. How can I help you, sir?
Right?
All right.
Oh, here, I'll just.
In our world.
God damn it! Welcome back, Dudes. We're just discussing it. We're about to come back in about 5 minutes if you're still gone. So, welcome back to the group. All right, yes. As you come back, staring at this troll.
Did you start the recording again?
Yes, we're good. Kind of staring at this troll as he shouts this. He is about 10 feet in front of Tun Tun, standing in the middle of the road. Tents on either side as he looks over. Did he just really mute again? Gee, fucking
Bro!
my man. I'm not. I know it's not your fault in the slightest, but god damn it. Tell your girlfriend I'm gonna start making her pay for taxes for my being on my videos here. I'm giving her free airtime here. I'm gonna pause that again.
Yeah.
Are you back fully, Dudes, or do you think you have to step away again?
No, I'm back.
Okay.
The only reason I'm muted was because Jana is here. She walked in,
Oh, no worries.
and I didn't want her to be in the recording. She was talking to me about something I got to do tomorrow.
So yeah, no worries. I understand. As you look at see the individual, as he stays out, kind of almost a challenge at this point, looking at you, waiting as Tun Tun kind of looks up at you from down below.
We are with Seji. We are the Cryptic Cabal. We were tasked with going to get or stop a supply train from the Thrycreen.
Wait, you're the lot who took down that aboleth, the big white one.
Yes.
Huh. Hey, you're welcome around Star Carts. He just kind of looks about and goes, "You must be a nobility of something. Let me take you to Sedgy right away. I've never heard anybody call him without his title." As he takes a second, kind of looking at you, other than royal guards myself, but he kind of shrugs and kind of turns back around and starts kind of walking into the camp. As he pushes aside trolls, shoving tents out of his way that have trolls in them, and creating a sort of a pathway for you to follow after Tun Tun.
I'll follow.
All right. As you lot
Get
kind
this
of
train moving.
as you find yourself kind of weaving not comfortably Tun Tun through this terrible muddy terrain that is just soaked with what you, as you kind of pull your feet up, it looks to be like a green like blood. As you you kind of have to stomp heavy for a second to see it pull out. Kind of as you step back into the air. No, I remember.
Okay, cool.
No, yeah, that's why you're able to walk through this without taking a distance penalty. I'm just describing as you're looking at this, yeah. But as you kind of start walking, kind of following forward, his feet seem to sink further in, but he seems unbothered as he kicks the mud out of the way. Bits of thrycreen body occasionally coming out of the ground as he does so. The cart seemingly seems to kind of give you a bit more pull pullback as it takes a bit Tun-Tun, but with the fact that you're not facing any difficult or rough terrain penalties, you manage to keep it moving. As you lot finally come to what looks to be a large, long green tent with bits of blue kind of painted across in stripes, you see what looks to be kind of already heading off to the right, about 40 or so feet in front of you, the large bison with the druid-like figure, their red leaves and thick brown bark skin, kind of glimmering a bit in the sunlight as the clouds have finally cleared. A warm 50-60 degrees kind of hitting with a warmer wind kind of coming down at this point, as Captain Bison and Cinnabari seem to head off into the sunset. As you kind of hear the distant shout of Captain Bison away, heading up to the tent, the large troll individual who had brought you up here, never giving his name, kind of stops at the entrance to this long 40-foot tent that's about 60 foot in height, and kind of stands at attention, looking at the two fully plated green guards. And as he does so, he seems to smile, and then just starts walking in as he puts a hand up for you lot to kind of stop and wait.
Tun-Tun will halt this train.
It comes to a bit of a rough hit as you hear the wood clatter against the other bits of wood, as it's not exactly with the speed that Tun-Tun was going, the momentum seems to carry the cart slightly forward. The momentum almost causing the front cart to slightly bounce off of you, Tun-Tun, as it hits the back of your shell.
Add some brakes. I see, yes.
Because I'll be able to activate the brakes.
Vicaret is looking around, I imagine, for something to ride on. I will note, as you look in, you do see something that is surprisingly famous by the Thrycreen. It's called the bedroll of writing. It is known by the Thrycreen to use captured bedrolls as places to write things on, because they don't get much leather down below. And so they'll use that, wrap that up like a scroll, and it's protected as much of the material already is insulated onto itself. Or at least that's the Thrycreen mentality.
Fair.
But as you kind of grab this thing and start kind of, I imagine, writing it down a little bit, the troll from earlier kind of comes stepping out, long nose and all, as he does so, and goes, "Biggest Brain doesn't want to talk to you lot, but he's given me orders to stand with you. He's holding a big boss meeting."
Understandable. Well, then, I feel it's only right that since we acquired these goods, might as well as put them to a good cause. I would like to donate the food and things in these carts.
His eyes seem to widen at the mention of food.
To your men.
"You've got, actual food?" And he starts to drool a little bit.
Yes, I look into the cart. From what I can see, a bunch of onions, potatoes. So far is all I've seen.
as I reach into a cart, pulling out a rod of iron and stick it in my mouth and start chewing on it, sticking it out of my mouth partially.
At the back end of the cart, yeah. As the guard kind of looks at it and goes, your your chest is eating your metal. Is that normal?
Yes.
How did you make your chest able to move? As he kind of like stares at leaning real over Tun.
If you believe hard enough and you make 3 wishes every night, you too can make your chest move. I'm not saying that, of course, but it's funny.
Tun's beer is speaking and singing to him in the background.
How did I get him to move? Well, I kind of just tell him where to go.
And that's all?
What have you done?
Yeah. I looked to Gygax. Gygax, can you hand me an iron bar?
I reach down, grab 3 iron bars. I jump off the top. I start walking with all 51 feet fairly fastly and hand him 3 iron bars.
As you jump up, you see the guy's jaw like go wide as he is just fast staring in amazement and shock. As Gygax gets closer, he kind of backs up and goes, It's bigger than I... Oh, you look smaller from a distance.
This is the point where the trolls start to think that they can do that with big machines that they're inside, like mechs.
Does it bite?
It does.
I start chomping.
He kind of looks back at you, dudes, and kind of looks down at the chest, and then looks back at you again with a bit of a... Like, there seems to be something in his eyes for a moment, a glimpse, as he looks at you and goes, You're a genius! If I just tell my chests to move, they'll move. I wonder, if I tell wife to move, will she leave? As you see, like, a thought goes, like, there's a lot going through his head, as he kind of shakes his mind and goes, he points over to Vekarat and goes, Slave?
I mean, if you want to be a slave, I'm not going to argue, but it's generally a bad idea. I could use servants, though, yes.
Kind of looks at you with confusion, then looks back at Dutes and goes, The Rykreen don't talk. Did one of you turn into a Thrykreen?
I look down at myself. A Thrykreen? I am no filthy fucking Thrykreen.
He kind of seems to not look at you with a nod of appraisal and understanding and goes, like troll to orc, understand.
I nod. I am Formian.
Kind of like scratches his head and kind of looks at you and goes, not enemy. Fine. Food, what do you want for food? Look at Thrykreen smells like a salt.
For nothing is free.
Yeah. We have no use for this, so I wish the best of luck in aiding you. So I would like to donate to this. No cost.
Sure, merchant man. Why not? All right. And he snaps his fingers, and you watch as almost as if they were waiting for the call. Trolls start pulling themselves out of their tents and jumping onto the carts, grabbing bags and jumping off. Some of them seemingly grabbing the metal bags full of metal and looking at, biting it, and tossing it back into the carts and taking off with the bundles of food. You are left with 6 bags in total. A total of about 200 iron bars, and roughly about 200 pounds of iron bars.
Well, at least we got the iron still.
As he just looks
Yeah.
at you and kind of goes, "Carts too?"
Let's keep one, Caleb.
Yeah. You can have all but one of the carts. Figure out which one did you want to keep?
I immediately point to the one that I have appraised as being the most, like, sturdy.
Oh, yeah,
That one.
As you point to the furthest back, where Gygax was sitting, the cart that seemed to have actually been reinforced to carry more weight, the other seemingly being a lot lower, or a lot less wood put into them.
Yeah, well, you can have all the carts but that one.
He nods and goes, "Alright." As he snaps his fingers again, a couple of trolls kind of jump out of a few tents at the back, and as they seem to get up, they look about, and you see like the immediate look of excitement to disappointment as they realize there's no food in this the rest of this cart. As he starts shouting in Orcish orders to take the carts away. As he kind of looks at you, and as they unbundle Tun, kind of ushering you off the cart of the front three, and kind of walk them away. He kind of looks at you for a second, and then goes, "You want pay?"
Yeah.
"For a supply mission."
Yes.
Yes.
He nods. As he kind of goes into his little sack and starts pulling out a bunch of coins and kind of counting them for a second as he looks over at you. Who am I echoing? Oh,
I
it's Dudes.
slowly open my mouth, creaking intentionally, like an old chest.
As you do so, he kind of looks at you for a second and goes, or looks down at you for a second and kind of smiles as he goes, "Understand." And starts to pour. He adds 60,000 gold pieces into your to your mouth.
All right.
As you close, he
And my
kind
mouth
of
closes.
pulls his hand back quickly, remembering that you bite, and like the bag as well. He ties it to his belt once more, looking back over at Dutes and goes, "More where that come. Battle's a day or two, and more supply needs to be ruined. Continued work is welcome, but not required." As he kind of looks at you and kind of stands up straight after he says this, turns, and then goes back into the Seji's tent.
I will link up with Gygax and ask him for my share of the gold, as I like to keep my stuff on me.
I sort 20,000 gold pieces and try and lay them in a nice pile with as little saliva as possible.
Okay.
You can just put it in my bag of holding that I have on my side.
You kind of put him out on by one, or kind of setting him onto the floor in front of you, the dirt floor in front of you, kind of trying to keep them from getting as much saliva as Tun kind of just turns his shell as you kind of start putting them in there.
I pick up the ones I started putting down and I start dumping 20,000 gold
Okay.
into his bag of holding.
All right. You feel your
Thank you.
you feel your
Good night.
saddlebag kind of lean a little bit as you get used to the weight, Tun.
Mm-hmm. Good old bags of holding. Let me see. What was it? A tier 3 bag of holding. That's right.
Oh, nice.
But as you all four kind of gather around the last cart left, now with the iron sacks kind of left in it, kind of just sat at the back of it, trolls all around kind of leaving you lot alone. What would you like to do?
Well, I will go and see what other. Well, actually, no, because we already know what quests are still available.
Actually, I mean, it's been like 3 weeks since we've been to town, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's very possible that jobs have changed.
But this isn't town. This is the armies, the army out encampment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, there might be some more immediate things that need to be done with the army. Is the job list still the same?
There, as you look about, give me a search check. see if you see any sort of job board or anything of the or mercenary quarters. In air quotes.
Search.
Anyone?
Search.
What's up, Gygax?
21. Search.
21. Okay. All right.
Let's see here. 8.
Man, done. You
Listen, I carried these cards. I'm so tired.
as it's been a long day. Yeah, you put a lot of weight into that. A lot of pulling. It was not easy. By any means of the imagination. As you kind of take a second looking about, the exhaustion kind of beginning to finally hit you as every bit of your muscles start to hurt. Gygax, you look about and immediately notice a small kind of camp that seems to be about 2 miles to the south of you that seems to be kind of set to a side. Only reason it kind of stands out is the very tall tents that seem to all be slightly unique. Each of them not matching the other, or and seeming to be more well taken care of than any of the trolls that as you look about. Noticing what looks to be also a large wall that's been set up. It doesn't take much to kind of put 2 and 2 together as you point over towards the direction, I imagine.
Yes.
As Gygax kind of points you over, Tun as you kind of look about, saying, looking for this job board or any sort of mercenary quarters, as you see the grouping in the distance.
And I guess Tun will start making his way on over there.
All right. As I say, Dutes, Vicaret, and Gygax, are you following after Tun?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
All right. As you all start to kind of head towards the mercenary encampment, kind of gathering around. The encampment already having been set up with what looks to be a dug, almost dry moat around a simple field that's been kind of set aside from the main camp. Organized tents set to one side of the circle formation, and a small, what looks to be, now that you get up to it, now large job board that seems to be kind of set aside. Wanted posters of what, as you walk over, kind of seemingly posted abound of different soldiers that have gone missing, some that seem to be wanted for supplies that have been stolen. Nothing that seems to kind of catch your eye immediately. What is noted is there is a new job up. Give me a second because I'm pulling up my message from said DM. There we go. As he mentions, or there's a job boarding noting for an attack coming up on the Worm Ravager Hive, the expectation of a full siege and battle at the southernmost portion of the continent.
Which hive was that one again?
Worm Ravager Hive, and for your own note, it is. I will send you a. Yeah, that's the Poison Hive. You're correct.
Gotcha. That's because I remember, I think it was the lava hive was the one that was able to puncture through natural, which is what I didn't want to deal with at all.
For reference, we are. Well, let me give you a map real quick, because it's been a minute since last we were on, so. And then. Alright. As you kind of take a second, pulling out the map that Dutes has of the continent, what's been publicly put out, and what Zedril has been able to gather for information. That small red circle at the top is basically roughly where you lot are at currently. To the south, to the far south, where that large circle is where you would be heading, would be for Worm Ravager Hive. You'd guesstimate it's about a 2 to 3 month journey potentially. However, I will mention the note for the pay is 40,000 gold pieces for anybody who survives and participates within the walls of the hive, and 10,000 gold pieces for any high-ranking Thrycreen, and with what looks to be an increase for a specific named Thrycreen.
Well, I link with Dutes and say, well, sorry. Well, Dutes, it appears that taking over a hive of these bugs would gain us quite the notoriety, don't you think?
I would. I do agree.
It is what the master would want.
Kind of look at you when you say that.
Why would you look at me like he's my fucking boss? What do you expect from me?
You know, just
I
as
want to
you
be-
choose a word.
I am one of his gentlemen. He is a lord.
Okay. Uh,
And he's your lord, too.
let's give you a side eye. Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah, let's.
Little thumbs
we'll
up in
take
the
down this
side eye.
hive.
Okay. As you kind of look up at the request, it mentions the expedition is heading out at the end of the month, with the expectation of the full army to be following shortly after. Meaning that you, as you can see, the expedition looks to be more like a vanguard and a scouting party from the expectation. Meaning you will be in the front lines, dudes, just for your own notes if you're not familiar with that term.
Yeah.
Glory in battle, don't you think, my good man?
Well, the issue is that I'm not very effective on the front lines.
Fear not, my musical man of unbelievable capabilities. I will protect you. I will kill them all before they can reach you. At least that is my plan.
I'll hold you to it. All right then. Let's go take down a hive.
All right. Like I said, at the end of the month. For your own
Yeah.
notes, the month has just ticked over. We are just in roughly about the second of the month. Of course, you wouldn't know that being on the front lines, it'd be hard to tell what day it is. But you do have about 30 days of downtime as the party kind of comes together, well, roughly about 30 days of downtime, as you lot kind of come together looking at this this expedition, starting to make note of the seriousness and the amount that's going to be going on. A full siege could be months, it could be years. You could be there for days of battle, who knows. As you kind of start to look it over and start to think, that's where we're going to wrap session today, I think. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and fuck if it is this hot out next week, I swear to God. Thank you all and see you next time.